In business tonight, the U.S. will create a stockpile of Bitcoin and other digital currencies in what's being called a game changer for the industry. But critics say the move by the Trump administration is a scheme to enrich cryptocurrency investors.
He believes it.
Very good. And they made the promise, right?
Absolutely.
This was the moment U.S. President Donald Trump signed the order to establish the country's first-of-its-kind reserve, a step towards fulfilling his campaign promise of making the U.S. the crypto capital of the world. This as the former skeptic hosts a crypto summit at the White House later today. Mr. Trump had earlier this week named 5 digital currencies that he would expect to include, such as Bitcoin, Ethereum and XRP. Cryptocurrencies reacting negatively with red across the board, with Bitcoin down from an all-time high of $109,000 in January. Now, for more on this, we're joined by Nick Harper, live from Washington, D.C. Nick, thanks so much for joining us. First of all, Nick, will the U.S. government actively purchase more Bitcoin in the future, or will the reserve only consist of seized assets?
Well, it looks like it'll be a little bit of both. The US government holds about 200,000 bitcoins. That's about $17 billion worth of digital assets. And it's got that through seizures in civil and criminal court cases. But it also says that it's looking for budget-neutral ways to buy additional Bitcoin. And it says, really, it's trying to maintain no burden on taxpayers. But it's also looking to establish a digital asset stockpile. So on top of having the Bitcoin there, it's looking to build other digital assets, including Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and ADA. Donald Trump mentioned all of those in a post on social media over the weekend. The idea is that that digital asset stockpile would be managed by the US Treasury. It would hold largely confiscated cryptocurrencies, but it's looking to top up where it can, but try not to place a burden on taxpayers.
What about the implications of the establishment of a strategic Bitcoin reserve impact? How will that impact Bitcoin's long-term price stability and growth?
Well, importantly, having this reserve prohibits the selling of the Bitcoin that's within it. So it's not a pot that the US government looks to buy and sell from, and therefore it aims to store the digital value within this crypto exchange. There shouldn't be too much volatility as a result. And in many ways, the US government deciding to do this and making a lot of noise about it gives more credibility to Bitcoin and to other cryptocurrencies. It gives it its stamp of approval, essentially, makes it more of a global player. We've seen other countries dabble in cryptocurrency, but with the US saying that it's getting involved, I think it sends a very clear message to the cryptocurrency world out there that the US is engaged and that it's backing it.
What about the investors, Nick? What are the potential risks for investors, especially with the U.S. government's increasing involvement in the crypto market, particularly regarding regulatory changes or conflicts of interest?
Well, that's still something of an unknown, but it's certainly a worry. I mean, this is a new form of investment vehicle. Unlike stocks and shares, unlike gold, unlike foreign currency, there is huge amounts of volatility in cryptocurrency. It's still not clear what moves the markets one way or another. So there is that inherent risk for any investors getting involved in it. But with the US government, this is very much signaling a significant shift in policy. If you think back to the Biden administration, it was critical against cryptocurrency. There were a number of lawsuits that it put in place, a number of attempts to try and regulate it. And Donald Trump have overturned many of those, has scrapped many of the lawsuits and challenges against cryptocurrency. And I think part of what the Trump administration is doing with this summit is trying to work out next steps, looking at a regulatory framework that quite simply doesn't exist at this stage. And it's saying that by putting regulations in place, by creating a framework, it hopes to build some inherent stability that's been lacking up until now and therefore reduce the volatility that's within cryptocurrency.
Having said that, how will Trump's financial ties to the crypto industry, including his involvement in crypto ventures like World Liberty Financial and the Trump meme coin, affect the public perception of his policies and their potential conflicts of interest?
Well, this is a huge problem for everyone except for Donald Trump. He doesn't seem to see a problem here, but there is this suggestion of a massive conflict of interest, because here we have a US president promoting cryptocurrency, but at the same time profiting from that promotion. Obviously, a US president should not be doing anything while in office that benefits himself, that enriches himself. He is involved in cryptocurrency. He promoted and launched his own meme coin just before returning to the Oval Office. He promoted it on his social media platform. By some reports, it's netted him about $330 million. He has seen financial benefit, and therefore critics looking at all of this and saying the president is holding a crypto summit 6 weeks into his presidency, making this a key priority, certainly goes against the actions that he should be taking at president. And there is this worry that with this continued promotion, with this continued talk about cryptocurrency coming from the White House, it'll only serve to benefit the president and essentially make him richer.
All right, Nick, thanks for that. Nick Harper there live from Washington, D.C.